We have Rahul Kanwal here as well. Both of us have had the opportunity to experience, to be a part of this historic occasion here in the United States. Barack Obama in his speech said, "We once again proved that America is a country where you can dream a dream that might seem impossible at first, but you can achieve it." And that's precisely how Barack Obama's journey can be chronicled, from the way he started when he was really an outsider in the race, very few endorsements like he has said, that too up against an inevitable Hillary Clinton. And today we find Barack Obama is in the driver's seat, taking America forward. He has legions of supporters across this country, the entire country bursting to celebrations. Of course, the biggest celebrations were in Chicago, but people were out on the street celebrating in New York. There was a great crowd outside the White House. Rahul, let me bring you in here and talk a little bit about what you've been experiencing in the United States. You went to New York, you're here in Washington. Do you see this overwhelming support and this belief in change and this belief in this new leader who has been elected, who has gotten the majority of the popular vote as well, and not just the Electoral College
Sure,
vote?
we were driving in over here and we stopped by at the White House, and the scenes over there were completely unbelievable. It was more than 200 years ago when black slaves brought in from different parts of Africa actually put together the White House, brick by brick. And now in the year 2008, a black man shall enter that same White House and shall rule this country as the President of the United States. What a historic day it's been. What a moment it's been. 1 million people turned up at the Grand Park in Chicago to cheer on Barack Obama. We were here at the Hyatt Hotel, which was the headquarters of the Democrat Party. Several senior Democrat members had turned up over there, and the scenes there were phenomenal. Every single person in that room had tears in their eyes, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing in front of them. They were touching each other, pinching each other, and wondering whether they're actually seeing this happen. That is how phenomenal this achievement really is. Americans can't believe they've created history in the way they have, electing an African-American to be the 44th president of the United States.
That's right, Rahul. Like they say, you know, this can only happen in America. And Barack Obama said that several times. In fact, we have Voice of America's reporter Anshuman Apte, who had a ringside view of the celebration, the biggest celebration perhaps in America. That's in Chicago, in Grant Park, in the middle of that huge crowd of thousands of people. Anshuman, tell us a little bit about the ambience, the mood. We know Barack Obama has spoken. What is the mood like there now? Has the crowd dispersed? Are there more celebrations that are going to go on across Chicago as they are across the rest of the United States?
You actually nailed it down exactly right. I would say that the crowd has dispersed from this Grand Park because, as you know, in the United States, whenever there is a big event, as soon as the big event is over, everyone wants to get out of that place. So the crowd has mostly dispersed. However, in Chicago, Diwali might have ended in India, but in Chicago, tonight is a Diwali night. And I really mean it. The bars will be open all night, as I heard. People will be celebrating in bars. You know, they will be enjoying, partying, probably listening to good music. And I'm pretty sure, as I heard, that same thing is going on in Washington, D.C. as well. And
Anshuman,
I'm sure all over United States.
You've spoken to Indian American supporters of Barack Obama. What are they saying to you? What do they think he will be like for the Indian American community, for this country?
Did you ask me what does Indian American think?
Yes, I asked you about Indian American supporters of Barack Obama and how they're feeling today about their leader, about what he means to their community.
They are feeling great, actually. Yeah, they are feeling great. I met a couple of Indian American supporters, and they were holding American flags in their hand. They were waving the American flags. They are proud of their Indian heritage, and they are proud of being American citizens. And they are, of course, part of being, part of history, I should say. And they feel that they are the members, who brought this change.
The most significant achievement possibly of Barack Obama is getting every single person to feel he is directly involved in this election process. It feels nothing like politics the way we see it back home. We've been traveling across various cities and people have been celebrating. It almost seems like a carnival-like atmosphere. A few years ago, I was covering the finals of the World Football Tournament and the World Cup, and then when Italy beat France, the scenes were very similar. People honking out on the streets late into the night, holding aloft off the flags of their country, cheering, and those were the sort of celebrations we're seeing across America. In Washington, D.C., people are doing just that. They're blaring their horns, they're celebrating. Riot police is out in full gear. They were apprehending initially that there could be some problems, but Niharika, it's been very, very peaceful. And it isn't just African Americans who are celebrating, it's people of every single ethnicity getting together, and people who don't know each other are hugging each other, and we're really seeing some very, very historic scenes tonight.
That's right. In fact, look at the people who attend Barack Obama's rally. They're not just a one color, they're not just a minority. He has run what is called a very inclusive campaign. He has taken this country forward as one whole. He mentions that again and again in his speech. But of course, now we come to the important point. The celebration may well extend for a few days. It's going to be January 20th, 2009 before he takes over. But the challenges clearly that he faces are not easy. And this is not a gift, really, this presidency, winning this presidency. Anshuman, if you could talk to us a little bit about the challenges that face Barack Obama as he readies to step into the White House.
In fact, he is going to wear probably, I would say, a crown of thorns. You know, Barack Obama is taking over such a huge challenge. He has to basically, as he has promised throughout his campaign, he wants to end this war. He wants to correct the economy and bring it back in motion. Right now, thousands of people are losing jobs. All the ordinary American citizens are suffering every single day. He has to change that, and people have elected him just because they think that he can change it all. And these kind of challenges are the first and foremost, I would say, priority that Barack Obama will be facing from day one. There was a talk about whether he is ready to be president from day one, but now he is a president and he will have to act from day one. Niharika.
You're absolutely right, Anshuman. In fact, it is the burden of expectations that Barack Obama carries with him to the White House, the sort of hype he's been able to create around his candidacy is phenomenal. He's promised change will come to Washington, and Washington this night is expecting that change, and that, Niharika, will be a huge problem for him to actually come good in the promises that he's made, because there are a lot of young people, and with young people we know when they're supporting you, there's a lot of enthusiasm and you feel good about it, but that support can very quickly wither away as well, because these are very, very impatient people. You've promised them change, and now they'd like to see that change.
And in fact, he hinted at that, Rahul, in his speech. He said, this is not change that can be brought about in a day, in a year, or even in his first term. He clearly laid it out there. And this is something that experts and analysts have been referring to for some time now. When it became clear that Barack Obama was leading in the polls, they clearly looked at the challenges ahead for this new president. Like I said, it's not a gift. It really is a set of it's an uphill climb, really, having to deal with the number of problems that this country is facing. And Barack Obama has set out these challenges for himself. He knows how tough it is, and he will have to figure out a way to take the country together like he did during his campaign. And let's not forget that he got his bitter opponent, Hillary Clinton, to campaign for him. He got Bill Clinton to campaign for him. Hillary Clinton, till the end, till the voting day, did about 70 appearances for him. So clearly, if he could unite the Democratic Party after that fractious primary battle, that's something that he could take forward.
That again was a central message of his speech today. There isn't a blue America and a red America. There is the United States of America, and he wants to end that divisiveness and get people to work together. This address, of course, will be compared with the Gettysburg Address, with Kennedy's acceptance speech. But off the top of my head, I thought there could have been scope for more flourish, but this was a speech more about substance. Barack Obama saying this isn't about making fancy speeches. It's about pointing out to Americans that there's a problem at hand, and he wants to enlist the cooperation of his people in trying to sort out that problem. How do you compare it with, say, his convention speech, which really brought him to focus?
Well, see, that is the point, because the thing is that he's known to be a great orator. So Barack